Welcome everyone. In this video, let's look into our day 5 of the professional course. This day 5 course is divided into 8 different sections. In that, we'll be looking into section 7, which is your 2D drawing editing. And once all those drawings are generated in your 2D drawing window under your edit views, you might have this requirement to edit the existing text or a dimension, correct? In those cases, what you could do is just select the dimension here. On the right hand side, it will show you its respective formats. Okay, in your CAD tool, you typically use dim style to edit the style option for a dimension, right? Same scenario on the right hand side, you have all those properties of that dimension, which is nothing but your font size. Right now it is 20 unit. If I want to make it as 15, can you see, based on which it is updated. Not only that, I could even change the color of the font too for the dimension. Just click it and this will open up your swatch, and here I can just select any color based on which the selected dimension color will change. And all the color what you are seeing here is index colors. If you are looking for RGB color, just click it and here your swatch will open. Here you can just select any color based on your preference by controlling the hue, tint and tone based on which it will be accommodated. Or if you are looking for any specific color, you can even type in the X or RGB value of it and you can get your precise point. So this is how you should be able to change the color of the dimension. Not only that, if you notice right now, all your dimensions here are aligned to the dimension line, right? Just parallel to the dimension line. What if you want your dimension line to always be horizontal? This is what your angle here is. So right now it is a parallel to dimension line. Make sure you click it to fixed angle and you can define the position of your dimension. So though your dimension line is vertical, I can make it as 0 so that your dimensions will be horizontal. Apart from that, right now my project unit is in mm, so the dimensions are naturally in mm. And generally when it comes to dimension, only the numbers will be mentioned. In your drawing sheet template, commonly you'll mention it as all dimensions are in mm or feet and inches or so, depending on your requirement, correct? But despite that, if you want to add your units for the dimension, you could just toggle on the suffix unit so that that specific unit will be added right next to the selected dimension. Can you see here? As simple as that. And apart from that, if you want to add a background mask or if you want to add a border around this dimension, you can specifically toggle this on and you can control it. And apart from all this text editings, at the bottom here, can you see you have something called dimension line, right? Click it and here you can control the color of the dimension line. Dimension line is this line. Okay, you can control the color. So in my case here, if I want the dimension line to be of magenta, click it. Can you see here? Your dimension line has changed. Okay. Apart from that, I have something called extension line too, right? Click it and here I can control the color of the extension line. Extension line is this line. Okay. So I can control the length of the extend line and I could even control the color of it too. In my case here, I want my extension line to be of cyan. Can you see here? So your extension line is of one color of a specific dimension and your dimension line is of another color and your text in that dimension is completely different color. So you could customize it to this precision according to your requirement. And in addition to that, the dimension what you're seeing here is actual dimension. If you select any dimension, it will precisely mark the peak points for that dimension, right? And right now this 3041 mm is the actual dimension of this ball here from this point to this point. But in some cases, you might want to manually round off this factor, right? Instead of 3041, you might want it to be like 3040. In those cases, just select it. On the right hand side, you have something called value. In default, your actual value will be selected, which is the actual dimension. If you want to edit the text of that dimension, just go for this custom text here. And once you select the custom text, anything you type in this tab will be updated as a dimension for that selected unit. So in my case here, instead of 3041, let me just make it as 3040. Press enter. Can you see it is updated? Not only your dimensions. In some cases, you might mention the EQ factor, right? If two dimensions are equal in nature, instead of mentioning the dimension, you will mention it as EQ, correct? Those factors could also be done. So custom text means you can type in any alphabets or any dimensions based on your requirement. It will precisely be updated to that selected dimension. So this is what your actual value and custom text function would do. Like I said, my project unit is in mm, so my dimensions are in mm. What if you want to change the unit to alone feet and inches? Your project might be in mm, but you want the drawings to be in feet and inches. In those cases, can you see there is this tab called precision here, right? In that the first one is your unit. It is mm. Click it, and here all your metric and imperial units will be available. Here you can precisely select. In my case, I want this to be feet with fractional inches. Just click it. That's it. It is typically 10 feet. Just using a single toggle, you'll be able to change the unit for any dimension here. And depending on the dimension what you're selecting, you can control the precision too. So if it is feet with fractional inches, then I can control the precision of the inch. Whether it is 1/4 of an inch or half an inch or 1/16th of an inch, I can control the precision according to my requirement. Or if it is a metric unit, something like mm, centimeter or meter, I could control the precision based on the old numbers or based on the decimal values. So in my case here right now, this is decimal 0. If I want to round off this to 2 decimals, I can just select 0.01, I can round it up. So to this extent, you'll be able to precisely round off your selected dimensions. So these are all the visual editings which you could do for your selected dimension. And now you might be wondering, all the editing what we did here is applied only for this dimension. What if I want to apply the same visual format for the other dimensions here too? In those cases, there are two ways of doing it. One, before editing the visual format of a dimension, you please multi-select your dimensions which you would like to commonly edit it. In my case here, I would like to edit this dimension and I would like to edit these dimension too. So I could hold shift in my keyboard. That way I could multi-select different dimensions here. Remember, shift is the shortcut to multi-select your components. The same applies for your dimensions too. So that way I could multi-select the dimensions and I could commonly edit its visual factors. So I can commonly control the font size, color, dimension line color, extension line color, all those things could be commonly changed. It will be updated for the selected dimensions here. Can you see here? Or you can just select one dimension and edit its visual format like what we did here. And once that visual format of that specific dimension is edited, just select it. It will open up a floating window, correct? In this floating window, can you see there is something called Format Painter, right? Shortcut is M. Click it. And once you selected that Format Painter, it will precisely copy all the visual edit what we did for that selected dimension. And now, if I just place my cursor on another dimension, can you see? The same dimension will also experience the same visual edit, okay? This is almost similar to your match property in your CAD, okay? If you edit any single text or a dimension, if you want to apply the same format for your other dimensions, you use MA space, correct? Same logic here as well. And so instead of MA, here the shortcut is M. So that way I could just select the other dimensions. The same edited format will be applied for it too. Okay? So I could just select it one by one, or if not, I could hold shift in my keyboard. I could even drag and select it for multiple dimensions here. Can you see? Yes, drag and select is also feasible for your Format Painter. So you could hold shift in your keyboard and drag and select multiple dimensions at a time. Can you see here? So this way, if you want to change the visual format of any dimension here, just change it for one, press M, copy that format and apply this commonly for all the dimensions. Okay, and instead of just doing it on all four sides, if you want, you can just commonly drag it and apply this for the entire drawing too. It will only change the dimensions. Don't worry, it won't affect your text, okay, because the visual format what we edited here is for the dimension. So it will only detect your other dimensions and it will apply the format. Even though you select any text or something, it won't affect any of it. So this is how you should be able to edit your existing dimensions which are present in your drawing. Now what about the text? So what if I want to edit the existing text? For an example here, can you see? I have this text here. In default for your furniture plan, the name of the space, area and circumference of the space will be mentioned. But I don't want the circumference. I just want the name and the area. In those cases, if you want to edit any existing text here, just like how you would conventionally do it in your CAD, just double click it. That way you can edit. You can select something you don't need, press backspace in your keyboard and you can edit. That's it, as simple as that. Now, okay, double click and editing like how you would conventionally do in your CAD. Okay. Or if you want to move any text from one position to another, simple. Just select it, drag and move it to any new positions. So this is how you should be able to edit any existing text here or reposition it. What if I want to control the visual property of the text here? Exactly like what I did for the dimension, I want to do it for the text. Same process, just select the text, On the right hand side, it will show you its visual property. Can you see here? I can control the font size, I can control the font color, I can control the sentence alignment, I can control the vertical alignment, I can add a background mask, I can add a border, I could even rotate the angle of the text. So to this precision, you will be able to edit the visual format of a text here. Okay, so that way, if I want to just edit the color of this text to red, click it, as simple as that. And right now, this is a text here. What if I want to convert this text into a leader? Right? In those cases, if you're existing text into a leader, first select that text. On the right hand side here in its property, on the top here, can you see there's something called leader? Right now it is text only, which means it is a typical text. Instead of this, if you just select it as with lead, it will automatically become a leader. Now I could just make it and control its position according to my requirement. Can you see here? I could even control this factor too, based on which you could control the position of the leader. And if you want to convert this back to a text, simple. Just click on text only. That's it. It is a normal text. You can position it at your preferred form. So this is how you should be able to edit an existing text or convert it into a leader and back to your text. And now once you edited a single text here, now if you want to apply the same visual format for the other text which are present in the drawing, same thing, you have format painter, shortcut is yum, click it. And now I want to apply the same visual format for all the text which are present in this drawing. So instead of individually selecting one by one, I could hold shift in my keyboard. I can drag and select everything. In this, if you notice, I'm even selecting my dimension. But no worries, only your text will experience that format change. So this is how you should be able to edit your existing text or your dimensions. And now you might be wondering, what if I want to add a new dimension? Right? I mean, it has already generated dimension for all the spaces, but still, if you want to add some dimension here manually, in addition to the auto-generated dimensions here, on the top of your menu bar, can you see there is something called dimension here, correct? Click it, and this will open different types of dimension. Your linear, aligned, radial, angular, and you even have your continuous dimension, your DCO in your CAD, right? That is also present. So, and for each and every tool here will have a shortcut. If you just place your cursor there, it will mention the shortcut. Like I always say, it is better that you get used to with the shortcuts, because shortcuts will increase your working efficiency. So that way a shortcut for a linear dimension is X. Click it, and now just like how you would do in your conventional CAD, if you want to add a dimension, can you see your vertex and pick points will be detected. So that way I could precisely pick the starting point of the dimension, pick the ending point of the dimension, and I can add it. As simple as that. Can you see here? A dimension is precisely added. I could do the same process for this side too. So this is how you should be able to add a dimension in addition to the existing dimensions. And once you added a dimension, if you want, you can just click it and control its visual format like what you did for others. Or if you want, you can just select your existing dimensions, use your format painter to apply the same visual format for this newly added dimensions too. See, now you might be having this question when it comes to dimensions. See, all your auto-generated dimensions in default will be aligned. It will be aligned in different layers so that it would visually look organized. But if you manually add a dimension, something like if I want to add a dimension from this point to this point, and if I want to add another dimension from this point to this, and now if I want to align it to my existing dimension, I can just move your cursor and place my cursor in my existing dimension level. It will automatically be aligned. Okay, so that is one good factor. Or if you want, you even have your dimension continuous. Shortcut is C. That way you can create your continuous dimension at the same alignment. But what if you have more than one dimensions at different levels? So in this case, can you see here? This dimension is at a different level. This one is completely different, and this one is different. In those cases, if you want to align it at one single level, you might be like, okay, fine, let me just move it and manually place it. Yes, you can do it. It will auto snap to the level. Can you see that? It will do that. That way you can just manually select and you can do it. Or there is a much more efficient method here. For that, just select that dimension, and here in your floating window, it will show some important tools which will help you to edit that selected dimension, right? In that, one of the tools in the floating window is aligned. Shortcut is Control A. Just click it, and now select another dimension which you like to align, and select another dimension, Now can you see all the selected dimensions will be aligned. So if I move something, all the selected dimensions will be aligned and it will be moved together. So this is how you should be able to align multiple dimensions at a single level. Apart from that, if you like to merge a dimension, let's just say that I would like to merge these two dimensions into one single dimension. In those cases, just select one dimension and here you have something called dimension merge. Shortcut is Ctrl+M. That way I can just select another dimension. Just in seconds it will become one single dimension. And apart from that, if you like to edit the position of a dimension here, let's just say that right now this dimension what I selected is from this point to this point, right? What if I want to move this position? Simple, just like how you would do in your conventional CAD. Just select that dimension, it will show you both the pick points. Just select any one of those pick points, drag it and move it to your new position. It will automatically be updated. So these are all the different dimensional editings which you could do for your 2D drawings. Now what about the text? What if I want to add a new text in addition to the text which is mentioned? For that, just write to your dimension you have something called text, right? Click it and this will open up this tab, and where at the first you will see your text. Shortcut is T. Click it and select the point where you like to add the text and type the text. Once it is added, just click anywhere outside the text and your text is added. And now if you want, you can just select that text and control its visual format like what we did for the other text. Or if you want to apply the same visual property, just select any existing text here, use your format painter to apply the same visual property for this newly added text. So this is how you should be able to add a text here. What if you want to add a leader? Same thing, right next to the text here you have something called leader, right? Click it and select the pick point here and tag in your leader point. And now I can just type in the text, click anywhere outside the text box and your leader is added. And now if I just select this leader, on the right hand side it will show you its property where I could control the text size, color, alignment, mask and border. Apart from that, I even have a lead, right? I could even control the attachment of the lead, whether I want my text parallel to the lead or I want my text on top of the lead. Apart from that, I could even control the color of the leader too. So here I can just click it, make it as red. Can you see? Your leader color can be changed. And last but not least, you can even rotate the text. So this is how you should be able to add a text or a leader to your generated drawings. And apart from your format painter, if you just select any leader here, in your floating window, can you see there are some tools here which will help you to edit that specific selected leader, correct? That way, one of your tool is your turnover. Shortcut is T. Using this, you will be able to precisely mirror up the position. Okay, if you want it on the left hand side or on the right hand side, just using a single toggle you can do it. In addition to your turnover, there is another important tool here in your floating window for your leader, which is your adding multi-leader. Okay, right now it is a single leader, right? A single point defined and the text is added for it. What if I want to denote the same thing for multiple positions, for multiple leaders here? That is where your multi-leader comes in. So here can you see? Just select that leader which you already have and click on this multi-leader, and now it will ask you to select the second point. I can add it. And if there are more than one points here of same finish or same component or same leader, I could add multiple leaders mentioning to a single text here. So this is how you should be able to add a multi-leader for any existing leaders tab in the floating window. Okay. And apart from that, you even have your copy option, which is typically your duplicate. Shortcut is Ctrl C. That way you can just copy any text or any leader or any dimension from one point to another. And finally, if you want to delete any text or dimension here, you even have a delete option. Just click it. Just in seconds it will be deleted. And now you might be having this very crucial doubt. Right now we generated a 2D drawing for this project, right? What if I make an edit to my 3D model now after the 2D drawing is generated? The short reply for this question is you don't have to worry about it. Your construction drawings in default are linked with your 3D model. So even after generating your drawing, you can just go back to your modeling, make any edit, come back to the same drawing. Your drawing will be updated based on the changes which you've done in your model. So it will be as seamless as possible for your construction drawing. What about my production drawings? What if I generated a production drawing for my cabinet and after that I made some changes, I deleted some cabinets in my model. Will that be updated in my drawing here? Technically yes, it will be updated, For example, if you generate a 2D drawing for your kitchen with a cabinet on, and after that you go to your modeling, you delete that cabinet, and again if you just get back to your custom furniture drawing, room drawing for that specific space, you could clearly see that the cabinet got deleted. But the dimension which was added when the cabinet was in the model, right? That dimension would still be available there even though the cabinet is not. In those cases, all you need to do is, here you have something called auto annotate, right? Just click it. Auto annotate is like refreshing your drawing based on the updates which are done in your 3D model. So that is how crucial your auto annotate tool here is. Please remember, shortcut is Shift T. Apart from your auto annotate, another common requirement you might be having here is this call out. So here, apart from the drawings what you generated, if you want to add a detail for a specific portion of your drawing, in those cases, just place your cursor on this detect, it will open up a drop down. And here can you see there is something called call out, right? Shortcut is Shift T. Just click it and just draw a call out window. Okay, in my case here, I want to add a detail for this cabinet here. So I can just use this call out window to draw a rectangle for that detail. And once it is added, just click it, and here can you see a detail view A is added for that specific drawing, right? So now if I just click on this detail view A and click on view callout, it will open up the detailed drawing of that specific bound here. Can you see? And here it would have automatically added a folder named detail view. Under that specific callout name, which is A, will be added. So this way you should be able to add n number of callouts for your project, addressing each and every detail, and make it like an individual detailed drawings within your same project. And now here for this, if I want to add some dimensions specific to this cabinet, I can do that. Instead of just doing it in the overall floor plan where it might create confusion, the drawings might become mess, right? In those cases, you can just add a call out there, and here the detail view will be added for that specific call out tag. So in this, if I want to add a dimension, if I want to add a leader here mentioning the finish of the shutter, and then I could edit its visual format like what I did. I could just select it and I could edit the visual format. See, right now all that dimension edit and text edit what we did is for the furniture plan, correct? Now what if I want the dimensions in my other drawings here to have the same visual property as the dimension in this drawing? In those case, select this edited dimension in one drawing, click on this format painter, shortcut is M, and when that cursor being selected, just go to your other drawings, and here can you see that format is still selected, so I could just apply it for this definition too. Okay, so yes, your format painter will carry the visual property of one dimension on a text between drawings. So this is how you should be able to add a callout window, add a dimension, text, or a leader depending on your requirement. And apart from this, in our previous session we talked in detail about your elevation indexes, right? So how your elevation index will be auto generated for all the walls within a room, right? What if you want to manually add an elevation in addition to what is present? Okay, the need for it is minimal because in default it will automatically be added for all the walls, and you can just select it, control the bounding region, right? In some cases you might have this requirement to manually add an elevation in addition to the auto generated ones. In those cases, go to the same generate here. On top of the callout there is something called elevation, right? Click it, and now make sure your manual place is selected, and now just move your cursor and place it in proximity to a wall. Can you see? It will automatically detect the wall and it will automatically add an elevation tag. If I just get it close to this wall, it will detect it. It will automatically orient that specific elevation tag. If I take it close to this wall or on this wall, can you see here? Depending on which, your elevation tags will automatically be aligned. Okay, and in this, just place it appropriately to your position, click it. That's it, your elevation tag is added. Now you can just click on escape in your keyboard, select that elevation tag. It will show you the elevation boundary, the extent of the elevation, right? Just like what you did with your conventional elevation, you can just control its boundary extent and make it according to your requirement. Once it is edited, just click on that elevation tag, click on view elevation, or in default, since we added a new elevation here, it will automatically be updated under your elevation views. Okay, if you want, you can manually navigate it and select it. If not, just click on that elevation tag. In the floating view, you have something called view elevation. Click it. As simple as that. Can you see here? A newly created elevation is added. Okay, So this is how you should be able to add a new elevation to your drawings. And see, in addition to your callout tool, you might also have this requirement to add a section for your cabinets, correct? Because right now when it comes to cabinet production drawings, your custom furniture drawing, you can take the internal elevation and external elevation for your kitchen. But what if you want to take a section for a cabinet? This is where your section tool comes in. So for that, go to your same generate tool, and now underneath the callout, can you see your sectional view is present? Remember, the sectional view won't be available in your construction drawing. The sectional view is something that is associated with your cabinet. So you could only see this option in your custom furniture drawing or your cabinet production drawing. Click it, and now here place the section, right? Select it, and now we can define the sectional line. So in my case here, if I want to take a section along this side, I can just draw a sectional line here. Okay. Don't worry, it will snap to your orthos. Okay, so it will detect 90 degrees and it will snap to your orthos. Okay, so this way I can just draw a sectional line, click it, and now the tool will ask you whether I want to take a section on this side or on this side. Can you see here? Just by moving the cursor, you can dictate the sides. Let me just take a section this way, click it, that's it. Can you see A section is precisely added for this cabinet. And once it is added, now I can just select the section, and here in the floating window I have something called view the sections. Click it, click on confirm, and now the section for that region will precisely be generated. And now can you see in the view list here, it has added a specific section here named A right? Can you see the cabinet section what we get here? So this is how you should be able to take a section for your cabinets. And right now we took a section horizontally in your plan view, right? You can even take a section vertically too. So if you just go to your elevation drawing, you have a feasibility to use the same sectional view here. Can you see? That way I can even take a vertical section as well. Okay. So this is how you should be able to take a sectional drawing for your plan and your elevation of your custom furniture drawing or your cabinet production drawings. So with this, your section 7 of the day 5 professional course is completed.